Good morning, friends. We are on the last day at this current campground. Gracie Lou is sitting in her queen chair as usual, and I am making breakfast. So this is what I have. The place that I went yesterday to get a pasty, not pasty, pasty, also made fruit pasties. So I am attempting to warm up one of the apple fruit pasties. So we'll see how that goes.
Yum. Yay for the state of Michigan.
Today is just going to be a quiet, peaceful day because we've had a couple of days of a lot of walking and adventuring. So we're just going to take it easy today and do some reading and just being quiet before the Lord. And then this afternoon I might, at 2:30, there is a nature walk, like a rock hunting nature walk by Lake Superior that I might go to. If it's not too hot, because I would not be able to bring Gracie Lou to that, so she'd have to stay in the car, so it can't be a blazing hot afternoon. I have actually accumulated quite a few rocks from Wilderness State Park. The interesting side note is all these rocks that I think Chippy might be coming around again. What do you think, Gracie Lou? Is Chippy gonna steal your food? Anyways, back to my rock story. I've been picking up these rocks in the lake, and then I was taking a shower the night before I left, and I look at the floor, and it's a concrete floor with like rocks in it, purposefully supposed to be decorative or something like that. And most of the rocks that I picked up in the lake, I also saw in the concrete in the floor. I don't think that I picked up any spectacular rocks, so I'm actually kind of curious as to what are these famous rocks that people find up here. But we'll see. I might just take a nap instead. And then this evening, my camping neighbors actually invited me to have dinner with them. I'm not going to video any of that because I don't think I want to bother them with being on YouTube. But that was really sweet and nice of them to do that. So that'll be really fun and a nice way to say goodbye to this campground. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and do the rock exploration class. So I will keep you posted, let you know how it goes. Lake Superior. That yellow is all pollen. It's kind of gross and probably why a lot of people are sneezing, although it must not be what I'm allergic to because I'm not sneezing. So this has been a really fun time. I have my pockets filled with rocks, none of which are worth of anything other than sentimental value because, as I already mentioned, they can be found decorating bathroom floors. But they're very cool, and I actually learned a few things about rock hunting. Now I'm going to head back to camp and have dinner with my camping neighbors. Good morning! It's another nice day today. Interestingly enough, there's a crazy haze in the sky, and that is from forest fires in Canada. That's what the ranger station said. There are signs all over the place not to burn without a permit, and that the danger for forest fires is extremely high. It hasn't rained in a number of weeks. Anyways, I am checked out, packed up, and headed to my next campground. It's only about 9:30 in the morning though, so I can't check in for a couple hours. So I am going to drive a little bit further than my campground to a place called Whitefish Point, which is actually kind of the tip of this part of the Upper Peninsula, jutting out into Lake Superior. I am desperately trying to find Wi-Fi because I'm having a very hard time up here in the middle of nowhere getting any video clips uploaded so that my videographer can edit them into videos. I doubt that I'm going to find a Starbucks up here, but we will see. Or Panera or something like that. Anyways, be patient. We will get videos uploaded. and I will see what I can find in Whitefish Point. So while I'm driving, I thought I would update you on a really kind of cool lesson that I learned at this last camping experience. It's nothing to do with camping and everything to do with just trusting in God's goodness and provision. What happened when I first arrived at that campsite, I actually didn't like it at first because a lot of the other campsites in that loop had natural privacy screening between the sites, meaning there were trees growing up between sites, not thick, forests, but just enough to provide a little bit of definition between campsites. A couple of the groupings were way open. Like there were some trees in that area of campsites, but there were no, like all the campsites were right next to each other, and there wasn't really any privacy between campsites. And what I'm learning about myself is I kind of like that, like being tucked into a little campsite nook and having my own space. So my first reaction was, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to deal with neighbors. So I set up, and long story short, these neighbors ended up being phenomenal people. And like I said in a previous video, they invited me to dinner last night. They actually had invited a couple of other friends that were camping in the area. They are all politicians. They like local level politicians. It was kind of fun because I learned a lot of inside scoop about the stuff that township leadership has to deal with. So all that to say, I started off disappointed because I wasn't going to have it my way with that particular little campsite, but the Lord used it to actually help me out a lot, and I ended up meeting some really nice people, and who knows if I'll ever see them again, but it was a wonderful time, and they were very sweet people. So lesson learned. Okay, I am at Whitefish Point, which is actually a Coast Guard station, and they have a museum here, so I'm going to walk through the museum and check it out. Another beautiful spot. Whitefish Point. What do you think, Gracie? Okay, we have arrived at the last campsite for 2 nights. I'm sitting here with Gracie Lou on my lap. Had a little bit of PTSD. We drove over to Tahquamenon Falls. I think that's how you pronounce it. When I drove over there, and we got out of the car and just started walking up the trail, and the onslaught of mosquitoes was like reminiscent of the hike from 2 days ago. I have my whatever this thing is called, thermocell. I have my campfire going, and I have put a bunch of bug spray on. Anyways, so I'm just gonna keep myself sprayed, and we're just gonna be here for tomorrow. We are booked to stay here tomorrow night, so I plan tomorrow to just do hiking around the falls. But I'm telling you, if I load myself up with spray and I get on that path and they are still biting me, I don't care how beautiful Tahquamenon Falls is, I ain't risking it. And I will say that Gracie Lou has pretty much reached her max at this point. Are you tuckered out? Are you ready to be done with all this hiking? Yeah, so when we went to Whitefish Point today, she enjoyed the beach, but I'm telling you, like she does like licking sand, and she does like looking at the waves, and looking at the seagulls and stuff like that, but she is totally revved up when she sees kids and people. And so the fact that a lot of the hikes we're doing are kind of like just us. I mean, she's putting up with putting up with it, but she kind of peters out. Her energy level goes down very quickly. So she's been riding in the backpack a lot more lately. And tomorrow we'll see how she does at the falls, and then we'll just decide from there. We'll just have to see what the day brings tomorrow. But all right, so I am going to sign off for the night. I'm not going to make anything for dinner tonight because I actually ate a yummy sandwich for lunch, and then I will see how tomorrow goes, and I'll keep you updated on the tail end of the trip. Thanks for taking the journey with me. It has been a very nice time. Overall, it's been a really sweet time. So I will probably just have one more vlog that I will compile starting tomorrow, and then we will officially end the trip. Okay, it's the morning of whatever day it is. I've made some changes to my plans based on a couple things that I will explain when I get back into the car. But right now, Gracie Lou and I are walking the falls, Tequamanon Falls, trusting that the bugs are going to be under control. I've loaded myself up with bug spray, and we will just see how this goes. Okay, so other than the fact that I can't really stop very long to take in the scenery, the bugs are not impossible. They're certainly not as bad as they were a couple days ago at that one place, that one hike. We are just going to keep going. It's only about 1.5 miles there and back, so Gracie seems to be in good spirits today, so we'll just see what we see. Okay, this is pretty impressive. I'm glad we came, and I'm able to actually stop and get some video without being eaten alive, so that's really good. Thank you, Lord, for that blessing. Although I'm having some visions of Gracie Lou going through the fence and being flown downstream. That would not be fun. So Tequamanon Falls was absolutely beautiful. Definitely worth the trip. My last bug rant, and with a little explanation about why I'm checking out early from this campsite. All right, you didn't see me making any meals. You didn't see me doing anything that required extended outdoor exposure. And the reason was that even though I had set up my triple protection, the bugs were still not very pleasant. I went to bed thinking, okay, I'm going to get up in the morning and then I'm going to see how the morning goes and make that determination as to whether or not I stay the second night. Woke up in the morning, I looked out my windows and I could see the mosquitoes. I mean, not to get graphic, but I had to do my business. So then it was like literally preparing for war. I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, because my shoes were outside, my little slides were outside, so I knew I had to get to the ground, slides on, run to the bathroom. I planned that I would douse myself in bug spray, which was sitting out on the picnic table. I would douse myself and then run to the bathroom. I did it. I got out, doused myself, ran to the bathroom, got back in the car, and then I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I think this is my answer. And then I just packed everything up as quickly as I could and got it in the car.
Continue on current road for about 4 miles.
Okay, that was not a road, Miss Navigator. Okay, so I decided to pack everything up, get in the car, and head to the Lower Falls Trail. So I get to the parking lot, I get out, I had my long sleeve shirt on with the hood, you know, the infamous hood that I knew I could pull up if I needed to. It seemed like it wasn't going to be that bad. I don't think we were walking for more than an hour or so. As the minutes went by, the mosquitoes multiplied. Here's what I will say. These mosquitoes up here are like the Army Rangers, the Navy SEALs, whatever you want to call them, the mosquito family. The bugs have just been too much. So I'm just deciding I'm heading back down south, and we'll just see. I am returning to mosquito-free land. I know we're not free of mosquitoes. We have them. But man, I'm telling you, nothing like this. So that's my plan for today. And I will talk to you later when I have more of an idea of what's actually going on. Okay, I just took a little pit stop at Mackinac City. And I have decided that we're headed to Petoskey because there were so many campsites available. So what I'm going to do is drive through the park, check out the campsites, get out of my car, stand for a few minutes to check the bug situation, or just head home or head to another destination. This is kind of a fun day because I literally don't have an agenda. Okay, had a chance to drive through Petoskey State Park, and it didn't seem to be super buggy. However, I came out of there, and as I was kind of thinking, do I want to go set up camp and spend another night at a campground? Or do I just want to head home? I just felt pretty strongly that I wanted to just head home. So that is what I'm doing right now. I have a semi-hefty drive ahead of me, but there will be places to stop along the way. Right now my ETA is around 11 at night. It's actually been a wonderful trip, and it's been the right length of time. And so I'm ready to get back home. When all is said and done, I need to be back home with my kids. So that's where I'm heading. And I feel really good about it. And then we'll be good to go for whatever the Lord has in store for me for the rest of the summer. But thank you, Michigan. It's been a great trip. I definitely want to come back up here in the future. I just might consider timing things a little differently to try to miss the bulk of the mosquito season. So once again, thanks for coming along with me. I appreciate all of your prayers and support. Even though you might have been rolling your eyes behind the scenes, you didn't let me in on that, so thank you for that. One last pesky mosquito, I'm telling you, they're trying to come home with me. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that, and I will see y'all in person when I see ya.